Hello, I'm Balin, and this is Balin's Corner, and today I'll be going over my Salad deck profile. This is the deck I seem to be using the most right now with the current format. I'm definitely looking towards April and a new format coming out, but right now this is probably the deck that I'm playing the most often. I start with one Gazelle. It's the best card in the deck, but unfortunately it's only at one, so we're kind of stuck that way. I play two Foxy. I like the card and it works well. I know a lot of people played it three, but two seems to work perfect for me. I can use it every time I need it, and I've never had an issue. And honestly, with three, I seem to brick with it. So two seems to work perfect for me. Two Spinny. The card's just not as good, but it is valuable. And it one just doesn't work. You needed it two, but unfortunately, three just no longer makes any sense. I run Jaguar at three because I feel like I need it as often as I can get it. And I really like being able to not only search it, but when it starts off in my hand, I can do a lot of combos right off the bat with it. So um, I don't mind not searching it and actually drawing it. So it works out perfect that way. I also run three Foul because it's probably my favorite card in the deck because I find myself using it the most often, and I find myself constantly having it to get out of other people's boards. It stops the back row. It summons so simply off of any of my summons, so it works out perfect for me. Then I use one Falco, and I love the using the Falco to bring cards back to my hand from the grave, as well as bringing Foul off the field back to my hand and then special summoning Foul so I can get back into my Abyss Dweller as quickly as possible. I really, really like Falco. Sometimes I considered running it too. I just don't have room in the deck for it. That's the Salad monsters. Now for the parts of the deck that aren't salad, but they're not hand traps. I run two red Resonator. I don't run Resonator Call, and I don't run the third, mostly just because I feel like that's too much. It's a good card, but it's not a make or break card. If I happen to draw it and I can go into a salad monster, great. If I can't, it's not a big deal, but it is a very nice little added tech to the deck. I run two Flame Buffalo. I found three I was breaking a lot with because I'd have it in my hand late game. I'd have nothing to discard or that I wanted to discard. Um, but two seems to just be perfect for me, and it seems to work really well with the deck, and it keeps the deck cut down to as low as I can. Three Lady Debug. I absolutely love the card. I do notice that sometimes it's not great if it gets hit off the bat, but I've only had that issue once or twice, where I couldn't then continue plays with something else in my hand. Um, but it is a good card. I have considered going back down to two with it, just because it does sometimes mess up. It's great off Red Resonator, but if I don't have that combo, it can slow down some. But at the same time, if I up Red Resonator, it becomes too big of a brick in the deck if I don't have them together. So I kind of just like it where it is. But those are the monsters that are not salad monsters, but I wouldn't consider hand trappy in any way. Next, I run two Gamma Steel. I love Gamma Steel. I run it in normal decks, and I think it's just a great card to have because you've always going to have something you just can't deal with, and it helps you out there. I run three Ash Blossom because it's just a staple in any fire deck, because I can bring it back to my hand off of Sunlight Wolf, keep using it, and it's just a great card. Then the final monsters in the deck are three Troll and Lockbird. I like Droll and Lockbird a lot. I don't find myself using it as much except against Spiral players, but it's great to have, just because if it's in the main deck, I can always side deck it out, but getting that first turn win is very, very important to my deck. That's the end of the monsters. Now for the spells. I run three Will of Salamangreat. I've ran three since I started building the deck. I've always felt like it was a great card. I never ran it at two. I just feel like it's one of the most important cards in the deck, and it's going to do extremely well for you. Obviously, one Circle because you can only have it at one, and it is a great card. I wish we could have it at least at 2, but it is what it is. One Sanctuary, I have considered upping it to 2 just because it gets banished a lot, and then I'm not slowed down drastically, but I am slowed down somewhat because of it. So I have considered upping it to 2, and dropping my Ladybug to 2 from 3, just because I think it might give me just a little bit more edge whenever people are banishing a lot. Says everyone and their brother knows what salads do. 3 Signet Mining, because it's just a must-have in the deck. I was running one Signet Backdoor as well because it's a good card to just screw with your opponent some. But I just found myself out of room and needing the room. 3 Called by the Grave, because you have to have Called by the Grave in your deck to stop people from ashing you and any other thing, especially with Salad where I need my draws. I need my searches. They're very important to me. And then that's the end of the spells that I run. The traps, I run 2 Roar. I really like this card, and it's a really good card for the deck. I know some people have upped it to 3, but the fact that it reoccurs itself as well as Sunlight Wolf reoccurs it, and Falco. You can see it so often. I think it's just 3 is just going to be too much, especially since you can only use it once per turn. I run 1 Rage. I have considered upping this to 2. It's an extremely good card. But I'm just not sure yet. I haven't fully decided. And then last but not least, Anti-Spell Fragrance. I run it in everything I've got right now because spells just wreck me, and it really stops my opponent, and it allows me to just turn the heat on a little bit faster because I usually don't play it until I've already got my spells either set or I've already played them, so I don't have to worry about it myself. That's the main deck. And now for the extra deck. I run a little bit of a variation on the Salad, but not too bad. It's pretty close. I run 2 Bailings instead of 3 because I do only have the 1 Sanctuary, so I'm only going to search it once, and because of the fact that a lot of people are going to get rid of your Bailings as quick as possible, so you're not going to get its use as often as I would like, and it's not as much needed, and extra deck room is just so difficult and tight in this deck. 3 Sunlight Wolf because it just has to be 3. You cannot go any less than that. You're constantly reoccurring this card. 2 Heatleo, which is probably actually my favorite extra deck Salad monster because I love being able to send their back row back to their deck and not having to deal with it, especially against Pendulum players. I run 2 of the Phoenix because it is very nice being able to pop their field if I need to, especially if they've created a great big field and I'm just don't have a whole lot to go on. I run the Salamangreat Amirage because I run Red Resonator, because of the fact that I can't get off that card with anything else, and I can go into this, and it makes my traps valid, because otherwise your traps are just sitting there and you can't do anything with them. I run the Update Jammer and Transcode Talker build because I absolutely love these cards and I've never had an issue. Even if I don't win with those, they usually break my opponent down enough that I win the next turn anyway. I run 1 Borreload Dragon. I would probably take this out for Appaloosa just because it's not necessarily needed in this deck. And Appaloosa, the negation it has is great because this deck doesn't have as much negation as I would like, but it's viable and it works. 1 Abyss Dweller. I sometimes wish I had 2, just because it's so important to the deck, and it literally can stop 90% of decks that you go up against nowadays. And then I run 1 Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Horse Prince, because of the fact that I run Red Resonator, and it is good to bring Gazelle to your hand if you've not had anything else to search for it. So to get Gazelle out is very important to the deck. So, but that's my Salad deck, and let me know what you think of that. Now I'll go into the side deck. In the side deck, most of my side decks are pretty similar. This one is a little bit different because of the fact that I can do a little bit more with this deck than I can with, say, my Mermails. But I run 3 Lancia. I run 3 DD Crow. Great card. 2 Skullmeister to stop people from messing with their graveyard if I can't get into Abyss Dweller. 2 Super Poly, 2 Twin Twisters to deal with heavy back row, 1 Lingeribo. I love this card. I have a friend who plays a lot of traps from his hand with his magical muskets, and this allows me to kind of hamper that just a little bit. I run 1 Salamangreat Violet Chimera. It's a great card to have in the Salamangreat deck. I used to main deck it a lot, but I just ran out of room in the deck for the Super Polys on a regular basis, so I pulled it back. But I usually end up side decking it second game, if not third game guaranteed. And then, of course, 1 Starving Venom. Just because it's a great card to have. Even though Thunder's not here, I still run up against several decks that I can use it viably against, and it gives me a second target against those decks because I usually go into Chimera first and then into the second. But that's my entire deck, and let me know what you think.